Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's your boy Stevie Jobber.
And it's your boy Dangerous Duke.
And welcome back to the Dangerous Jobbers podcast, putting wrestling over one podcast at a time.
Yes, sir.
This is Elimination Chamber predictions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Has it been an exciting build for you?
Um, yes and no. So, for some of the matches it has been, and then for one match in particular, not going to disclose which one,
Mm.
but it's not so much. But there's been worse builds to the chamber.
I think we handle this with a kind of a compliment sandwich, right? Let's have good things. Let's shit on them somewhere in the middle, and then we'll finish on good things.
Mhm.
Before we get into the predictions, let's talk about NXT and TNA. I think they're starting the year off hot.
Mhm.
Sacrifice is coming up for TNA. NXT is having, well, they're building to stand and deliver.
Mhm.
Um, so as they first announced like the solid contract and no more things are going to happen, and Jordan Grace is in the crowd, Joe Hendry's at the Royal Rumble. Uh, Perhaps bigger than all of those things, this past week on NXT, Moose has shown up to challenge Obafemi, right? We'll get to that. Somewhere down the line, No Quarter Catch Crew interrupts Fraxium's promo to call out the TNA Tag Champions. So in which they respond the same show. So the Hardy Boys are now set to square off against No Quarter Catch Crew.
Mhm.
And return to television to WWE television. That'll be awesome. But even quicker than that, moving in the same week, tying back into the Moose thing, Obafemi then shows up in TNA to help fight off the system.
Mhm.
So they're making it very personal very quickly. They they handle I want to say the gravity of the moment really well, the two of them, Moose and Obafemi.
Yeah.
That it's a very, it feels big.
Mhm.
This is a big money fight. And back to my point about you have to take NXT seriously, because for TNA fans and NXT fans to both feel like this is a big money fight,
Mhm.
it's something that can only happen if you consider NXT the level of TNA, in which you have to consider it the level of a main event brand
Yeah.
instead of just developmental. They are so much more now, and it's because of the gravity of moments like this. Um, because I don't know who wins, really. I'm not really sure because of, I don't know. Like there's a lot at play. It's a
It
big money fight. So tell me your feelings on NXT. Let's start positive.
it feels very much like a level playing field, and that's a testament to the type of product NXT has been putting out. So, like you said, it doesn't feel like a developmental anymore. It feels like a third brand. It feels like an established brand. And they've done very well with doing that within the last couple years or so, from your Trick Williamses to your Carmelo Hayeses, your Roxanne Perez. They've done a good job at one upping what everybody thought they would just stay being in the very beginning. They've
Mm,
managed to exceed that expectation. Now, the interactions with the TNA crew, that just shows it because you're not getting TNA's B players, if you will. You're getting the best of the best that TNA has to offer in feuds. You're getting their top champions. You just signed Jordan Grace officially to your roster. You know she's probably going to wind up making an appearance or two for TNA anyway. You got the Hardys coming back, who are the tag team champions for TNA. And then you have the world champion Moose, arguably one of the best world champions they've had in the last few years, maybe even decade.
mm-hmm.
So I think this is very big for both brands, for both parties. It's going to be massive. It makes it feel, like you said, like a big money fight, like a big money feeling. So it's just a matter of execution at this point because the excitement's there. Now we just got to see the execution.
Mhm. Um, do you feel like the Hardys moment is bigger than that, or do you feel like this is building to something that might turn out to be the big money match? Is the big money match tag champ versus tag champ?
I would say so.
Mm,
I would say, I mean, for them, it's big money for them, but I think the bigger scope of it would probably be the Moose and Obafemi thing. I think that's probably more of where the investment's going to be.
mhm.
And this appearance for the Hardys is more just, all right, you guys have been doing good. We can kind of trust you again. We can welcome you back a little bit. Like you get the visitors pass, but we got to see what you do on that visitors pass. I think it's one of those situations for them. The big thing is the Obafemi and Moose.
Definitely. And let's move on to predictions. I mean, that was just the good things I want to talk about. Um there's just some from there we got some stuff that I'm not so certain that I'm enjoying at the moment. Um and I'll have you take over Elimination Chamber, but because this is a segment and not really a match,
Mm-hmm.
and it ties into whatever we saw on SmackDown, so we get to talk about how we feel about SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock announces that he's going to be on SmackDown, um, and a couple different things happen. First off, The Rock has this weird promo.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't even really know how else to describe that. But he announces that next WrestleMania is in New Orleans.
Not Minnesota.
Wonderful. Cool.
Close to me.
You know. Um, he calls out Cody Rhodes, who gets pulled from the main event match. He's getting swiped out because of The Rock. So they have this segment. So he talks a lot. He announces the next WrestleMania. He calls out Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes comes out, and basically The Rock goes on this weird rant where, hold on one second. So he starts talking to Cody, and he talks about how they become friends over, him beating Roman at WrestleMania and the whole your mama thing. And he starts to talk about, I, I don't know. He wants to be friends, and
Wants to be
he
brothers.
wants to be brothers, and all the things he could do for Cody. And I could make all of your dreams come true, and I basically run the universe. And uh uh you know if you got with me, like, we could run everything. And Cody's like, is this about the championship? And Rock is like, no, I don't want your championship. I want your soul.
Mm.
And he walks off, and I I gotta tell you, I thought it was crap. I thought it was terrible. I thought that they built the whole show to this, and it sucked. I thought a lot of the show sucked. Um, I just don't know what's going on. I don't know how to feel about SmackDown or Raw this week, but
Um,
definitely SmackDown. I mean, SmackDown, it just did not hit for me. All night was kind of like, that's it.
yeah, it was very much. I I can honestly say this is the worst SmackDown of 2025. Granted, we're only in February, but this was already the worst SmackDown of 2025. And the positive I can put on it, we can only go up from here
Yeah,
because that was atrocious. The final boss turned into Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat wanting souls, and it was weird, it was cringy, it was hard to watch. So the positive, you can only go up from here.
I don't ever mean to badmouth The Rock on the mic
No, no,
at all,
never, never.
right?
I would
It
never do
just,
such a thing. It
but it
just,
felt like you were watching him like deteriorate in mic skills in real time. Like it was like the weirdest thing in the world. And then he would like lean back on his shtick and then go over time and circle around until he found it. And it was like,
you
what's
know what it felt like?
happening right now? Like this is crazy.
It felt like he was reading those promo notes from his wrist.
yeah. It felt like he was losing his place, and that might have been the case, dude. I don't know what's going on. It felt very. It wasn't great. It wasn't great, and the rest of the night was kind of subpar. And I don't know, man. I don't know, man. So with that being said,
Let's get the better news.
let's get to the better news. Point being, at some point in Elimination Chamber, Cody will have to choose whether he will give his soul to The Rock or not, and whatever those consequences would be, and why that's relevant at all, which I
Regardless,
guess we'll find out later.
regardless or not, when it comes to the Elimination Chamber, that will probably be the bathroom break
How
segment
does
of the
this end
show.
with CM Punk at the main event?
Yeah, like we got a long way to go. This doesn't end. We got to figure out how it gets Punk or John there at some point. But
Yeah.
we digress. On to better things. Elimination Chamber is coming up this Saturday live from Toronto. 4 matches on the card, so not a lot of matches happening, but there's probably going to be some really long matches that happen.
Mm.
And we're going to kick it off with a match that is an unsanctioned match, officially or unofficially, however you want to decide, between the former best friends, brothers, tag team champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Stevie, what's your thoughts on this one? Who's walking out of Canada with the victory here?
You know what I can say? First of all, this is an unsanctioned match, which means there's really only 3 matches on the card. And in real time, I got to tell you, on paper, not counting the unsanctioned match, not a great lineup.
Look, it's hard when all your star players are in the same matches. Okay, so
Oh my
I
dear.
I get
Oh
it.
my
It's
dear.
it's tough, but the unsanctioned match is probably going to be the match of the night.
Mm. I would count on it. I would definitely count it. I feel like there's too much story in the men's match. The women's match might be technically better. There's room. Um, the men's probably is going to be a lot of storytelling, mushy stuff. Uh, the women's tag, Sammy and Kevin is probably going to be the best match of the night.
Yeah, so that's why we're
Um,
gonna we're gonna start it off with something good.
as far as prediction for who wins, I want it to be Kevin. I need Kevin to get a win here. And I love Sammy, but he doesn't need to win all the time. Winning's not even really his thing for real,
Hmm.
honestly. So, and Kevin, let's be fair, like Kevin always been better than Sammy. Let's keep it a buck. Like
I mean,
I love them both, but and I mean, at least storytelling wise, Kevin's always been able to get the up on Sammy. So at least get this win. At least
yeah,
get a win going into WrestleMania and whatever that story is going to be.
I was gonna say I'm right there with you. You're not wrong on that. Kevin has been better than Sammy, and you're in Toronto. And part of me was thinking, no, if you're in Toronto, the good guys got to win. But that almost never happens with wrestling, and at least for the WWE. But then we're in this weird shift where two guys are from the same place, and they just so happen to be fighting in that place. So, with that being said, since we're on the road to Mania, Kevin needs to win more. He's got to build to something big. I'm going with Kevin to take this win because if the match happens at Mania, we know who's probably winning at Mania. So for this, I'm going with Kevin.
Can I ask you a follow up question, and then we can move on to you can take us to the next thing.
Okay.
Real quick, would if we feel this way, what do you think what do you think is a possibility that we walk into Toronto and we hear them on the side of Kevin? What if they think Kevin is right when we go to Toronto?
Kevin's going to still be Kevin and tell the crowd he doesn't care if they think he's right.
Mm, he's gonna double down.
Yeah, he's going to double down. He's not going
I think it'll
to.
be a crazy reaction though
Yeah.
in real time if they choose Kevin Owens.
Yeah, it definitely will.
Because I mean, there could be some people that are still white meat babyface Sami Zayn, but
They'll boo Kevin and then say sorry.
mm, could be that. It could be that.
But jump into the next match. This women's tag team match. Not a tag team title match, but a women's tag team match. We have the team of Nia Jax and Candice LeRae versus the one night only, I guess, formation of Tiffy Time and Trish Stratus. Gonna be honest with you, I don't know if I'm speaking for everyone, but quite frankly, I don't give a damn. I'm speaking for myself on this. Nobody asked for this. I don't think anybody wanted this. I think this is just the money grab, and you got to put as many Toronto people on a card as possible. So, who can you get from Toronto that kind of looks like the champ? Let's dust Trish Stratus off real quick and pull her off the shelf. So, again, with that being said, though, it's Toronto. Trish is in a match. Tiff's the champ. Tiffany and Trish for the win. That's all I got on that.
Is this what we're doing? Like, is this really what we're doing now? This is crazy, man. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Just
Yeah,
I predictions. Trish and Tiffany win. Low.
yeah, that's really. I think I did the match more justice than anybody else cared for, which is not saying a lot. Um, so
Yeah, after that, I mean, come on, dude.
hey,
Come
we
on.
got to build somewhere. And speaking of building somewhere, let's build right into the women's title match for Mania. Rhea Ripley still needs an opponent. We don't know who it is, but we're going to find out on Saturday because of the six women in this chamber match. So, right off the bat, we got Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bailey, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez. Stevie, where's your brain at here, man? What are you thinking?
Right. And he said Alexa Bliss, Naomi,
Bianca, Alexa,
Bianca, Alexa,
Bailey, Naomi,
right.
Roxanne.
Not Roxanne. Um, I don't see it for Naomi, which means I don't see it for Bianca. I don't think their story. I don't even think their story. Yeah, yeah, they're not there in the story.
So that
They
so
both
that
gonna get eliminated separately in separate situations. I'm sure.
so
Um,
by that process of elimination, you've knocked it down to three.
That three being Alexa, um,
Bailey and
Bailey,
Liv.
and Liv. I don't want to see Liv win because I really don't want to do this again. I really don't want them to do this again. I just don't. I just don't. I'm
Hmm.
done. I'm done with it. Win the mid card title for a little bit. Just please. I don't need this again. She don't need this again. You know, haven't we done this enough?
Hmm.
Um, so not Liv. I think that takes it to Bailey and Alexa. And see, here's the thing, bro, because like as much as I believe Alexa should win this, I still want my Wyatt Six story to play out. And I still believe because there's already been signs Cross could be the reason she loses the chamber on some Undertaker, Wyatt Six, weird, like magical stuff.
Okay.
I still believe she could pop up out of the dark and cost her the match. So maybe we could do Bailey and Rhea. I don't think they've done it in a while. If they've done it before, I can't remember the
Not
last
at a
time they've done
Mania,
it. Not it's definitely not at a Mania,
and not with this character of Rhea.
and it's about the most justice you could do for Bailey after where she was at last Mania, and it gives Rhea something new and somebody new, and just a match to have a really good match as champion without the boyfriend stuff and the.
Yeah.
Eh,
So, so
I'm going with Bailey
all right.
because I want the Wyatts to interfere for Alexa. Otherwise, my pick would be Alexa, but purely on fantasy booking and the belief in the Wyatt Six. I'm gonna go with Bailey.
Okay. So on this standard, Naomi and Bianca, I don't see it for them. So I'm gonna ask them because they're the women's tag champs. Liv, I don't want to see there. So just for the same reasons you don't want to see her there. So that leaves me with three. That leaves me with Roxanne, Bailey, and Alexa. I'm gonna be honest here, man. I feel like we're getting a Bailey and Roxanne storytelling in the chamber
Mm.
because of the feud that they just went through on NXT. I think it's gonna boil up to main roster, and they wind up having a match at Mania together. So as much as it pains me to say, I'm gonna cross off Bailey, gonna cross off Roxanne, and I guess by default, that leaves me with Alexa Bliss. So I'm gonna go with Alexa Bliss, but I'm gonna caveat and throw Roxanne in there as a wild card, just because they kind of put a rocket ship on Roxanne's back in NXT, and I feel like it's gonna translate well on the main roster, and it gives Rhea something fresh, something that she hasn't really had before, and it's someone who kind of has the same resume NXT wise as her. Dominated the NXT women's division, multiple time NXT women's champion. On paper, they're the same person. Then you look at them and they're not the same person. So I could throw Roxanne in there as a wild card, but I'm gonna just say Alexa Bliss.
You know what? I hope one of us is right because I could see them delaying, especially with how much they've been using the Wyatts lately. I could see them delaying the Wyatt interference till Mania and maybe costing Alexa at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
So
Or maybe even just popping up at some point whenever they start swapping people around.
or that. but I would like it to be at a grand stage.
but
I need it to be something that's gonna be
something meaningful.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I see what you I get what you mean. I hope it's meaningful too, but I think that's just where my head's at. As long as it's not Live Again, we're fine.
All right, so we
Um,
got Liv and we got Alexa and we got Bailey.
Lexa and Bailey, and then I'm cheating and throwing Roxanne in as the wild card.
Right.
And then that takes us literally with a perfect amount of time left for this last match. We got the men's chamber, John Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, and Seth Rollins. Stevie,
How much time we
where you
got?
at with it? We got 4 minutes. We,
Oh,
we
oh,
got 4 minutes to save the world.
ooh, Seth? Ooh, mm,
Huh?
uh, um, yikes. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll tell you who I want to win, and I'll go with Seth because I think the story is gonna be a little deeper than most. So I go Seth. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I'm gonna go Seth, and then I'll leave the rest of you.
You know what? I don't know either. Seth would make for the best story, but it's 2025. I'm feeling selfish. It's the last year for Cena. I'm booking John Cena, and I'm taking it that way.
Mm,
I'm doing it for selfish reasons.
mm.
But
Do you have any feeling that John might turn heel if he loses?
yes, yes, 110%. And then I think he's heel for the remainder of the year up until that last match. Because I think that last match we're gonna pop back and get face John Cena. Because the last opponent of the year is gonna be someone special.
See, all right, and then we'll take it on. I only ask that because I'm picking Seth because I think there's a great story there, and
There
I
is.
just am not sure who's gonna win. But Cena is a valid pick because I feel like this for Cena, this is make or break. This is very heavy on his heart. This is a
Yes.
must win for John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
So if he loses, I expect something drastic to happen.
Yeah.
Should he
I
lose?
I think wholeheartedly he will lose at Mania, go to SmackDown, shake Cody's hand, do the whole ordeal, and then whop, kick to the nuts. That's how we get the heel.
Oh, oh,
Just like that.
goosebumps.
Bring
All right,
back bring back the pumps too. So when you actually kick them in the nuts, you got some pump.
start rapping again. No, uh,
Don't do that.
don't do this. Don't no rapping. No.
No, no. Leave it in 2006.
All right.
But yeah, I guess that is the end of this show. Stevie, if you wouldn't mind, my good sir, go ahead, take us home.
Um, if you made it this far, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for skipping through and just seeing what we had to say. You made it here just in time for the cheap plug. If you hit the thing down in the description, you can follow us on all the platforms. Follow us on the website, dangerousdriverswebsite.com. Um, I guess just thank you and stay here next week. See if we got anything right. If we got anything wrong, argue with us in the comments. You know what it is. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and until then, man, until the next time, please stay up, uh, stay blessed, and Duke as always.
Stay dangerous.
Boom.